said, you can't stop. You started.
Are these guys with you? No.
We live up the street.
Can we help you with something?
We were told that there's going to be a meeting down here at 2:30.
Jaime.
Jaime told you?
Yeah.
Oh.
I have it in a text message.
Oh, okay.
Did I talk to you?
Nope.
Oh, okay. They just said at 2:30, everyone to meet at the end of it. We have it in a mass text message from a neighbor to meet at 2:30 about what's going on.
We don't want that.
I wasn't aware.
We don't want that. And we'll have a talk with Jaime, but I don't need any.
No, our neighbors. Our neighbors are talking. We all talk.
I understand.
And it said to come down here at
I
2:30.
understand that, but this is going to be basically an industry medicine meeting, period. We're not going to invite any homeowners to this.
I talked with Jaime. Who's Jaime?
He's
Jaime's a contractor.
Yeah, I talked with him, and he's.
I'm the construction manager
Okay.
for WeCom. I'm the primary. This is our project. I'm
Okay.
With all due respect, I'm going to ask no homeowners to be at this at all. This is an industry meeting, and that's all I really want here.
I'll
we're
speak
gonna
with
have
Jaime and let you know. I'll
Yeah.
speak with him right now.
Okay.
Could you give him a call?
Yeah, he should be here in a minute.
Well, everybody's kind of wanting to know what's happening because there's lines all over our stuff and
Yep.
what's.
And we'll, I'm already attending the community meetings in Cordes Lake, and
Okay.
as soon as if I find out what you guys could help me with that, I'm happy to attend them here for Spring Valley as well. But this is basically just for us to discuss what they're doing and where we're going and what kind of things we need to do.
And we won't know how long it's going to take or when it's going to start or anything like that.
They're starting tomorrow. As far as the construction, they're starting tomorrow.
Nope, stay.
Well, our road was just redone in front of our homes. Like
We're
it
not
was.
doing the asphalt. This is all going to
Okay.
be off the side of the asphalt.
Okay, so
In our yards then.
in our
Well,
yards.
in easement, wherever, I don't know how, off the top of my head, I don't know how far back the easements go, but it's gonna be, probably, I know in Cordes Lake, we were going anywhere from 2 feet off of the pavement all the way, I mean, in some cases, their easement goes back 17 feet, and the county inspector wanted us to go at the back of the easement. But if that's there, you also have other pedestals and things of that nature, whether it's the power company or whatever.
Okay.
How who did Kevin talk to even know to come down here at 2:30?
It's Terry. Terry's right there. Who did you talk to, Terry? Because they said that they don't want us here. They
Yeah.
just want the people who are working the stuff.
He just told me they were having a meeting.
Yeah.
Stop. I know, that's Lily.
He's here, but I'm not going to tell him now.
Oh, he's here.
They won't tell us.
Which one are you
anything.
at?
They just said that they're starting tomorrow.
Oh, right here. Nice.
Yeah, but
You
I
guys gonna
want
dig on this side or that side?
We're not digging at all. We're the water company.
Oh, okay, good.
We're just trying to protect our lines.
Yeah, good. Good, it's in my yard, so
Oh, is it?
I care about that too.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not too happy.
Who'd you hear from to come down here? Because I talked to a guy. He just. Okay.
We're probably going to put this on the merit page.
Oh,
Because there's an
oh,
area
gotcha.
Who is the one that said they didn't
The guy in the orange vest with that hat.
and you know, it's just me and this guy. We can't be here.
I just want to make
So
sure
it's
they're
a
not
very,
in
very
our
busy
yard.
season.
They're going into the
We need to be
easement.
aware of it. So we can
Lily.
shut
Are
it
they
off.
going to fix it?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, so you see the line coming
He won't
through.
answer any
Yeah.
questions.
You see the blue line. Blue line's the
Blue
line.
line, you can see
Who
my
can we
post right
find
there.
out?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I
He
talked
says
to
he's
that's our
willing to
valve.
go
That's
to
your
a
valve,
community
yeah.
meeting
So it's that far into the property.
for us if we
So they
want
have to
to.
be
6
6
feet.
feet.
We want to
Either
have
side
it.
of it, we're gonna have to get this side.
They're gonna do it this side, yeah.
We're
We can have it up
You know, I
at the
honestly don't care
church.
either way.
Or the
Just-
park.
Valley.
Obviously, I don't want to go towards the house.
The park where they had the last thing. They said that this was happening this year at that.
I would think so.
Remember I asked if you guys wanted to go that day? We
Yeah,
rode down
we
there.
did this
Yeah.
and we
I
did
knew
go.
they were going to have it, but I just wanted. Why are they going to dig up the easement?
Because that's where they can do it. Because it's not water or power. And
Phoenix.
Nice.
that's my guess. Hey, stop. No.
Yeah, I moved to Arizona.
We were talking to the
Lived on the
guy with
reservation.
the long hair that said that.
My folks,
Nope, stop. Leave it. Lily.
and
You're fine.
Really, no.
I think she wants to go see Chloe.
Yeah.
had some work down there, opened up some
You don't want to play around right
I know, baby. I know.
Come
I know.
Come here.
I know.
Lily,
Stop.
Sit.
Sit. Chloe, sit. Sit. No.
Lily? Lily.
Okay, you say hi. Okay, good.
No more. What did you say?
I don't like doing that.
He said that
You gotta
he
behave.
shouldn't have told us to come down
Yeah.
here.
Stop.
How do we plan a meeting?
I don't know.
Who do we contact?
I don't know. Stop. Sit.
It's that guy calling me.
Sit down.
Hi, who's this?
Sit down.
Hi, Chloe. Hi. Hi. How you doing, girl? Huh? Huh?
Nope. Sit down. Sit. Good. Stay.
Those people.
One guy is power, one guy is electricity. And the thing that we
While
did.
you're out here, I will give you folks a couple of my cards.
Sure.
And as I said,
I think
I'm
it's
assuming
the
you
only-
have a community center or something like you guys
We have the
probably
church up there.
We only have the church, but I don't.
I'm gonna guess you do. Do you guys do a monthly meeting or something
We
like that?
don't.
For,
They do, but I
They
don't.
do. They
well, I
do.
know Tortoise Lake does. That's why I'm
Right.
asking, because I figure, you know, all the little communities, they're probably doing the same thing. I just sit there silently, and the lady introduces me. It's like, anybody has a question? So I just go ahead and go to the link
My
while we're
only
gonna do what we're
concern,
doing.
I have two concerns.
Sure.
I heard that in Cordis, when they started doing digging, they had busted some water lines.
We've hit water probably 8 times in Tortoise Lake, and the biggest thing you need to know, which that's part of why we're having this meeting, their lines, and I'm assuming these probably got put in about the same time, which was 1962. Since that time, they literally have no plants. They don't know where their lines are. They're out here trying to locate them with dowsing rods.
Well,
I think the closest they've been are about 7.5 feet off. So when we call that out and they come out, you see that paint on the
Yeah.
ground?
Which
we're,
one?
we're going by
Blue is water.
Red is
Blue
power,
is
blue
water.
is water, orange is communications. You don't, I'm gonna guess you don't have gas out here. Gas would be
No.
yellow.
What they do that way.
But they paint, and basically that's how we know where things are. If we're gonna cross the street or cross where those marks are, we're gonna open something up and go down and try to find that. But if they have marks here and we don't find it, we'll call them and try to get them to help us find it. But we're typically gonna go about 3-4 feet off of there, and that's gonna be our running line. And the problem that's been in Tortoise Lake is when we've gone that 3 to 4 feet over here, that's where they are, because they don't know where their water line is. In all honesty, the very first time we ever hit water, we had a valve, and there was a guy digging with a shovel, and he hit the water line with a shovel, and it was a main, and water just went everywhere, because their pipes are this incredibly thin-walled pipe. They just, they didn't have the specs they do now for putting it in there. Yeah, we have another one, which we just hit, over on, Larry Lane, and I think this is Rolling Ridge, I can't remember, but there's a transformer, and then there were power lines, and there was a water line back here, and we dug down, and we dug up and found power. They didn't find the water. Unfortunately, if they would have went another 6 inches over, they would have. But when they came down
He was
this way,
saying that
we
we
hit the
were all
water line over
informed
here,
already that they
and
were
it
starting
was literally 6 inches in front of the transformer. They had just, and there's places all over there that we found. I have pictures. I have 100 pictures. They literally did joint trenching and put power and water right on top of each other. I mean, maybe at most an inch away from each other. A lot of that power is abandoned. That's our other problem is they don't know what's abandoned, and neither do we.
Right.
So we go out, we try to find it, and you find a water line or you find a power line, and they can't. Well, the water we assume is always live, but the power we have to assume it's live until they tell us it's not. So we find this power, and then we find out the power they actually meant to mark is over here, and we've hit 2 or 3 power services too for the same reason, because we have to go off what they're telling us.
Right.
And by law, we're responsible for 2 feet to either side, and that's fine. We've been opening up a place, in some cases 5 feet wide and maybe 4 feet down, but then there are marks. We had one where water was off by 15.5 feet. There's no way we can find their facilities when they're that far off. So that's the biggest problem. And one of the things we're talking about is what we understand in Spring Valley, they don't have any isolation valves here. What that means is we have water, it's gonna
I got
drain
an
the entire
isolation valve
system.
right there in my yard.
Yeah,
Right there.
it's gonna drain the entire system if they don't have a valve to shut it off anywhere. And we're very concerned about that. I don't wanna hit anything, but the only way we can avoid it is if we know where it is.
Okay, I have another question.
Sure.
You're gonna go out the easements, which side are you starting on? And,
I don't know anything about Spring Valley yet. I just
Okay.
got my plans the other day.
Okay.
I do have well, I will tell you, when we did Cordis Lake, it's actually divided up into 5 phases.
okay,
We're done with 1 for all intents. We'd still have to pull the fiber, but the construction's done. We're doing 2 and 4 now. I just got permits for 3 and 5, so they're gonna be doing those parts. We just got permits for 1 and 2 of Spring Valley. I literally, it's the first time I've ever set foot in Spring Valley.
okay.
I was supposed to be home today because it's President's Day,
Right.
but they wanted to do a meeting, so here I am. But when we come out tomorrow, there's other things these guys are starting, and I'm literally going to just kind of drive out Spring Valley and take a look at it. And I have to assume these guys will as well, because they have to decide how they want to attack this. When it's wide open like this, they have something called a vibratory plow. And what it does is it's a big thing that carries a reel of the orange pipe, and it has a blade that's about 47 inches on the back. And it literally vibrates, goes into the ground, and then this thing feeds a pipe, and then feeds some warning tape on top of it, and it just goes through the ground and it buries that pipe at
Okay.
36 inches. But if it's like this, and we have rocks or driveways or all that, we're not going to use that. We're only going to use that where it's wide open.
Okay.
When they have driveways and such, they're going to either bore it or they're going to use what's called a missile. Typically, we'll bore it if we have a big long run that they can do, because they're going to open a pit at one side and open a pit at the other side, and of course the potholes. If we think we're going to cross anything, it's just like it sounds. They're going to put a set of rods in the ground, and it just keeps going, and it pushes those rods. It turns and moves, and gets to the other side, and then you attach the pipe to it and you pull the pipe back.
So hopefully, some of our yards won't be,
Well, for the most part,
Demolished
your
because of
yards
it.
aren't going to get touched at all.
okay.
We're
That's good to
going
know.
to, I mean, the whole point, like, if I have something like this where this is all rock,
Yeah,
number one, we would bore, they're gonna pick a point, like if we were here or across the street, such as, like, we're gonna have to get across here, I'm sure.
Right.
Across this big ground.
Right.
So they're gonna pick a point on the other side, and they'll bore down under that, and then come back up somewhere on this side. So, I won't tell you that nowhere in here will they move some rocks, because they might have to move enough for a pit to open up so they can
Right.
figure out where they are. And again, like if I see the red, I know power's there, we're gonna wanna find that. So they're gonna come underneath here, and they'll maybe come up all the way on the other side. That's what they'll try to do. But I mean, they can cheat this bore 250, 300 feet. What they do when they send it out, it has a head with teeth on it, like something out of science fiction, but it's got a beacon inside of it. It's got something with batteries, and it sends a signal out. There's a guy on top of that, and he's walking along, and he's locating that. It's sending a signal that's coming out, so he knows
Where they're at.
virtually within an inch or two where
Right.
that is. It tells him where it is, how far down, if the guy needs, and what he's doing is he's giving that information to the guy on the bore rig. The guy on the bore rig also has a screen that's basically telling him what that beacon is sending out. So between the two of them, they decide, do they need to come up, do they need to go down, do they need to go a little right, a little left. So that's how they keep track of this bore machine. The missile is just like it sounds, really. It's hydraulic or pneumatic missile. They hook a compressor to, basically it looks like a torque converter, But what it does, it has a handle on it so they can regulate the air to that missile. The missile is about, well, one of them's about 3 feet long, the other is about 4 feet long, and it's a big silver cylinder about this, and on the end of its head, it's got a pneumatic piston.
Okay.
And what they do is they're going to open up a pit in the ground. They're going to lay that missile down there, and then they level that all out, and then they just let that thing go, and it literally just pounds its way to the other side. So between the two of those, as I said, I mean, our ultimate goal when we're done, and hopefully it'll rain again someday,
Right.
you know, is you'll be able to walk out here, and other than our pedestals where our gear is, you won't even know we're here.
Okay.
I could invite you folks to all take a, you know, grand tour of Corvus Lake, drive around there. I will tell you that we're not done with any of it. They put all the pipe in, but one of the things we're going to do back there, which we'll certainly do here, is they're getting a big dumpster, and they're going to go back and all the bushes we cut or things we had to take back or anything we had to do, they're going to pick up all that broken stuff. They're going to put that inside the dumpster. They're going to clean out all the culverts, and the crew's going to go behind as well with an excavator with a bucket, and he's basically just going to drag that bucket and open that trench up again. So anything that we get a bore underneath, if it raised the ground, if we, you know, dug through there, anything they're going to do, they're going to level all that out and they're going to clean all that up. Are you going to be able to tell we were there? Absolutely, because there's going to be places where we did do a lot of the vibratory plowing in Corvus Lake, and those places where we went, there's basically nothing I can do about that big scar of land. You can see because
Right.
it does when they put that plow in, it's gonna leave a scar of dirt. Now, you know, if it does rain and things go back over a period of time, it's going to look exactly like it looked before we got out there. But as far as physically being in anyone's yards, we're not really. I mean, when we're all done, like I said, all you really see is these green pedestals we had out. The only reason we're using the pedestals is because everybody has these big trenches. If it wasn't for the trenches, this would all be in boxes. But when we first drove this out, one of my concerns, I didn't want to put these boxes in the ground because I can't, if we ever do have a real rain, I don't want to impede any of that flow of that water. Because I've seen a flash flood before, and it's amazing and scary all at the same time. So that's our big thing that we're doing. Please, you have those cards and you need to talk to anybody else. Same reason I go to these meetings. The whole reason I'm here is to talk to folks. If anybody has any questions or they don't understand something, just give them my number. I'm happy to talk to them. That's why I'm here.
You have another card?
I do. I actually have I didn't give them all out.
No,
I didn't give any out for the longest
Just
time.
you and I
now
have
I'm
one
going
so
through
far.
them like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah,
So.
right? I know, people care.
Yeah, it's okay. But I have 1,000 of them on my desk, so.
One last question.
Yes, ma'am.
If you have the blue and the red in your yard,
Well,
close
basically,
to the
that just
stream.
tells us where it is. That doesn't mean we're gonna dig there.
okay, that's
It's
what I was
just-
asking.
That's part of our, well, here's a perfect example. So if I had an orange and a red and a blue line here.
Yeah.
So that would tell me basically CenturyLink communications.
Right.
And water and power.
Right.
Now, if we wanted to go down this way, what we would do is I'm gonna move over about 3 feet from the last line. We're gonna try to dig down and find those. And then I'm
Okay.
gonna go 3 or 4 feet over here, and that's where we're gonna go. But when I say we're gonna go, if they're back there, they're going to go under the ground and come back this way. So there'll probably be a pit back there, and there'll be a pit way over there. We'll just open this up, but once they're done, they're gonna fill all that out and then grade it all, and you won't
And
even
put the
know
rock
what's
back?
even there. Yeah, but we're not gonna do anything that's not an easement. We're not gonna go, you know, there's no reason for us to go back in your yard. There's no we're not gonna open up any asphalt if we can help it. In most cases, we aren't doing anything unless they're crossing the street. If we're going from this side of the street to the other side of the street, and this is where we're going, and there's a paint where, you know, it's red out there where power's going.
Right.
We're gonna open up that piece of the street because we wanna find power. We wanna know where they are.
Right.
So if we decided we wanted to cross here and we find there's power and that's right where it is, and it's right where we wanted to go, we're gonna move either this way or this way to get around that.
Okay, so I have orange in the street. I have blue in my driveway, well, in my yard, and then I have red in my yard.
Okay.
So,
And as I said, that basically just tells us where they are. That doesn't
Right.
tell us, we're not gonna necessarily go that same way, but even if we do, where I'm really headed is that we're not trenching this. We're not just gonna
Right.
open things up from
Okay.
A to B.
Okay.
We have, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, we've had some places that, most of it's been ice and dirty, it wasn't too bad.
Right.
We have hit some, as you folks know, I mean, we've had places where it was just solid rock. We
Yeah.
couldn't even get through there.
Right.
So we've had to have an excavator come in just to open up enough so we could do, you know, we could do what we're doing. And in some cases, we had a long stretch on Sierra over there where this side of the road was absolute dirt. Well, that's not where we permitted. We permitted to go on this side, of course. And this side was solid rock for 400 and some odd feet. But that's where we were going, and they ended up bringing an excavator, and they just opened that all up. But what we're doing is they'll open that all up. We'll put the pipe in. We're not going to put all those boulders on top of our pipe. Obviously, we'll take some of those out, and then they'll fill back all that back in. I will tell you, we haven't had any problems getting rid of any of these rocks. We always have people come by and ask us what we're doing with them. So
Right.
we've been able to get away with everything. But for the most part, once we're done, it's going to look just like this again. You'll be able to see we dug, but you'll see the tracks and everything.
I
where
don't know
they're
that any of the
pounding it all
houses up
flat.
there look just like this, though.
No, they
Yeah.
don't. That's
Everybody has
don't
paid
have-
money to do their landscape
Well,
and stuff
anything,
like
that's
that.
what I'm saying, if it's, and
On
there
the
are
other
some over
side
there,
there is,
anything
but
that's
not on ours.
landscape, anything that's landscape, we're not gonna go through, we'll bore under that.
Okay.
We won't be opening that.
Okay.
I mean, well,
Yeah, she just acts like these pavers put
Sure.
across to the road.
and
I'm
Right.
thinking, uh-oh.
yeah, and we had
Yeah.
another perfect example, so the guy in Cordis, Will, the manager, told us, we were talking about different places, because we were everybody started hitting water, we don't wanna hit anything. And he told us if we went down 5 feet, we would never hit another thing again. The very next day, we were at 5 feet and we went right through his water. Because that's exactly where it was. And he told us where to go. So, you know, that's the biggest thing is when people's water are off or their power's off. And,
Right.
you know, they think we're just out there
Nope,
doing,
stop.
you know, random shots. We're not. We're kind of trying to go where people tell us to go. And, you know, as they say, no good deed goes unpunished. So here we are.
Well, our houses are fairly new. They were just built a couple years ago.
Okay.
So, I mean, in order for them to build the house with the water and electricity and all of that, wouldn't there be a record of where everything was?
No,
Of course not.
no. Because they're just connecting. In the
they
case
have
of like water, there's a water meter out there, or they're setting
Yep.
a new water meter for you.
Right.
So they're already looking at where the existing water meter is, and they're tying it in from that. But it doesn't tell them where any of the mains are.
Like they didn't
And it
lay new
doesn't-
lines.
Yeah, and it doesn't tell them, well, this is the other thing too, it doesn't tell them where power is, it doesn't tell them where anything else is. But the other thing is some of the reasons we're hitting the services is that demarcation point where those boxes are, that's all they have to mark up to. They're legally only required to mark it to your property line. Past that, it's private property and you're responsible for it, they're not. So we've hit a couple of them simply because the box was right here and it was marked to the box. Well, what it didn't show is it went like this and went back around and we hit it right here because it was marked. So a lot of cases, I mean, when we get near a box, especially a transformer or something, they're digging up all around that box just so we can find it. But it's still, well, another thing that we've learned, we just assumed that all the power was 3-phase and then learned it's actually single-phase. Well, even if I know I see I have a transformer and I know it's single-phase, that doesn't tell me if it comes out here, if it comes out this way, if it turns this way, or if it does all three. I have no idea until we dig that up. We've had a bunch of talks with ELM, the one gentleman that was out here. He's a locator for the power company, for APS. And we've had a couple of meetings with a lot of people. One of the things we got them to do is they're now putting more paint on the ground. One of the things we had a problem with is they'll put a line here and then there'll be a line over here. And well, I know it's here and here, but how does it turn? Does it turn over here? Does it turn over? I don't know where that is. So we ask them to mark their corners. So anything they can do to help us helps us.
I have those lines right in front of my mailbox, so I was just concerned because when the road got redone, my mail carrier. So when you go down our road, you got my house is affected on the corner. You have to go like this. My mail carrier quit delivering mail during the construction to my house only, and
Yeah.
it was.
She's
just
at the
my house.
end. I'm the second one. I got mail.
But she got hers.
I had a gentleman, an 86-year-old guy on oxygen, and he had the pipe come up right by his mailbox. It wasn't in the way. It didn't obstruct anything. We had these two pipes come out behind it, and there was a cone. And of course, USPS being their ultimate knowledge, they decided they weren't going to go to that mailbox anymore. Nothing was obstructing him. Nothing was
That's what
stopping
I'm
that
worried
guy from
about,
doing
is
his
all.
route. They just took it upon themselves that they weren't going to deliver there because there was a cone. So we ended up having to go down. We dug down. We cut those pipes back here, put the cones 4 feet away from either side of the mailbox. What we're going to do when we get to that point is we'll go back, dig it up, we'll join all that together, do whatever we need to do. But until that time's happened, we'll do it because I mean, we don't want to inconvenience anyone, and certainly not an 86-year-old man on
We have
oxygen.
two mail. We have
And that's,
You're fine.
you folks know, I mean, Murphy's Law. If
Yeah.
something's going to go wrong or someone's going to have a problem, that's
Nope.
it's never the 23-year-old guy that, you know, points out.
Right.
So,
Now, I just want to throw out a suggestion. The cable box at the end of the street is at the back side of the houses.
okay.
Why couldn't you just dig along the backside? And it doesn't
Depends
affect.
on where the county lets us go.
Okay.
I will tell you off the top of my head, and again, like I said, I haven't seen them. I don't know that we are going back. I don't know if we're in the front or in the back out here. I haven't
Okay.
looked yet, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But I know
Because I can tell you there's
in a
nothing
lot of
in
cases,
the
what's
wash.
easier for us, what's much easier for us, is to go in here, because if we go in the back, we can't get our equipment back.
Too narrow, you know.
Yeah, there's nowhere for us to
Two
go.
fences back to back, but the guy who put the fence up said there's an easement here, so I gotta
Sure.
at least make a room, but
But
it's not gonna be enough
just
for
like
you
this,
guys.
with
Just
the
a thought.
bore rig, the bore rig is about the size of that truck. So we're not gonna get back here with the bore rig. We can get a missile back
So I
here.
wasn't getting.
But again, if you use a missile, they're gonna open up a pit every 30 to 50 feet to use that missile. So usually we're only gonna use it to get under driveways and such, because we don't wanna open up a 36-inch, 5-foot long pit every 30 feet.
Right.
Because, I mean, you know, we'll have to fill it in, and we'll do our best not to make it look that, but you don't want to hold it every 30 feet
Right.
along your backyard either.
Oh, no, the backyard's fine as long as it's out on the other side of the fence. It's,
But
The
off the
front
top
yard
of my
that
head
time-
right now, unfortunately, I can't commit to any of it because I don't know exactly where the zoning line is off the top of my head. I haven't looked at these at all. Yeah, and I was completely serious when I say this is the first time I've stepped in Spring Valley. I've never been here. That
okay.
that's water, so these guys are bringing it. Probably going to pick what they're doing, but these are the guys that are going to be doing it tomorrow. You can see that piece off the front is what goes in the ground. This thing, as it gets to the end, they're 10-foot rods. It's going to put a 10-foot rod in the ground, and when it gets to the end, that thing's going to have another one. It'll recycle. It'll pick up a rod and screw it onto that one, and it'll start all over again until they get as far as they're going to go. Most of those do 50 rods, and each being tied, so 500 feet. They usually won't go 500 feet before they're done, but
And they're going down to the end of our street. Because that's where they're starting. They're not doing Redbird?
they will. I don't know.
This is Bluebird.
This
Redbird.
is my project, but basically they're a turnkey. We give it to them, and
Right.
you know, we tell them what we want them to do, and we pick it up at point B. In between, how they want to get from A to B, that's up to them. What street they want to do, how they want to do it.
Anything we
And
need
then
to be
they just
aware
tell
of,
us.
just from a warning standpoint, like you guys are coming down today, that type of thing? Because obviously you just
Off
showed
the,
up.
off the
They're
top of
supposed
my
to start
head,
warning.
tomorrow.
they were supposed to start today, so I assume they're kind of
okay.
probably getting in. They're probably coming out here to see what they're going to do and how they're going to start up, because I mean, before they set up and everything, they got to get a game plan. They have to know what they're
Do
getting.
you have to be meeting with these guys right now?
Yeah, so these guys are probably doing it. If that's probably who we were waiting on. I'm assuming one of
I
those guys.
appreciate,
Yeah,
thank you for your card and
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
And like I said, I
spending that
please,
time with
I
us.
have no problem. I'm always telling people that, you know, anybody you know has a problem or anything, please give them my card, give them my number. That's the whole reason I'm
Oh,
out
can I have another card? I want to give our neighbor one that wasn't able to make
See if
it.
that was
Right.
it.
You got
Now, let me see if I have any more in my truck.
Look in your pocket.
Oh,
Look in your front pocket.
You
I don't have any.
Yeah, no doubt.
None of those are mine.
Oh, okay.
I have lots of people's business cards, but none of these are mine.
Okay.
Those are in there
I'll
specifically
make a
for
copy
that.
of it,
Yeah.
give it to her.
Yeah, she's
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.